Tonight on Duck TV News, a theater program adapting to COVID-19, local employee shortages, and students can study abroad this summer. All that and more coming up. Good evening and welcome back to Duck TV News. I'm Ryan Connors.
And I'm Jennifer Singh. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories.
The University of Oregon's theater program has adapted to COVID-19 by posting their one-act plays onto YouTube. The two virtual plays, Watermelon Kisses and Marisol's Christmas, are streaming on their YouTube page now until June 30th. Throughout the year, the theater has continued to direct, act, and produce while maintaining their community via Zoom. Actor Diego Milan took us inside of his at-home theater where he has acted throughout this year.
We were able to attain a sort of creative space that helped to facilitate the positive energy that was needed to get these plays done right.
Actors recorded their performances from home using a green screen, which allowed for the production team to add a background. You can find the virtual plays on the University of Oregon's Department of Theater Arts website.
UO students are welcome to study abroad once again. As of April 15th, over 30 programs in 12 countries are open for students to apply this coming summer. Dean and Vice Provost for the Division of Global Engagement, Dennis Gallivan, said, quote, "We know how to keep people safe, and we want your educational experience to be as normal as possible, which includes seeing the world and becoming global citizens," end quote. To learn more, go to geo.uoregon.edu. And now let's throw it to Alicia and Sabrina at the Sports Desk.
Hello, and welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Sabrina Ortega.
And I'm Alicia Mendez.
May is Bike Month here in Eugene, and We Bike Lane has been putting together events all month long. Reporter Kiana Coburn has the story.
It's that time of year. May is Bike Month in Eugene, Oregon, and with over 45 events planned, bikers of all levels are able to come out and explore the community. As Lane County slowly opens up, Bike Month has seen renewed interest compared to last year.
Actually, last year, people were hesitant. It was very clear that we were in a state where we all needed to be careful. And so Bike Month was much smaller. And I would say this year we have a mix of both of people who are hesitant and people who are ready to get out.
Local organizers like the Greater Eugene Area Riders, also known as GEARS, work with Bike Month leaders to organize a variety of events from rides to online workshops and bike tune-ups. Rides range from local tapas tours to quick fun rides around Eugene's parks. GEARS ride coordinator Larry Diffie sees the increased interest in Bike Month as a way to encourage more to participate.
I think right now with COVID kind of still being a little bit unknown, coming to a close hopefully, is that this helps to prompt folks to maybe get out and get on their bikes, that it's okay.
GEARS, Peace Health, and 360 Cycles will hold rides through the end of May. To find out more, head to webikelane.org for the entire schedule. For Duck TV Sports, with the latest scoop, I'm Kiana Coburn.
To see what biking events remain, check out the webikelane.org website for more information.
The number 11 ranked softball headed to Berkeley, California to take on the Golden Bears in a 4-game series this past weekend. In the series opener, the Ducks got off to a slow start and didn't post their first run until the top of the 5th on a double to left by Haley Cruz that would go on to score Pangilinan, taking the first game 2-0. The Ducks found their rhythm during their doubleheader on Friday with a single from Cruz. Cruz then went on to put up the first run for the Ducks later in the inning with a ground ball from Shea Bowden. Oregon went on to win the first game 4-1 and the second 9-4. Oregon was able to capitalize off their great start from Friday's game, holding off the Golden Bears in the bottom of the 7th to take a 3-1 win. The Ducks' postseason games will be determined tonight on the NCAA selection show. Though many teams around the country had their seasons taken from them by COVID, the Oregon Club lacrosse team was able to salvage their year and get cleats on the grass. Reporter Alex Larvik has the story.
The University of Oregon men's club lacrosse team capped off a better-than-nothing year in fine form, pulling off a 12-8 victory over rival Oregon State to clinch the 3-0 record, finishing an undefeated, though relatively short season. Starting out, there was doubt that a season would even be able to happen. Lane County's long stay at the extreme risk level greatly endangered the team's chances of being able to take to the field. It was only thanks to a slowdown in county COVID cases later in the year that the Ducks were finally able to lace up their cleats. And even though it meant a later than late start to the season, team captain Josh Spain said that the team made the most out of their situation.
You know, we're always very enthusiastic about the freshmen, about our rookie class, and we try to, you know, especially as a senior right now, and knowing what our situation is with COVID, we're really excited just to get those guys on the field and just teach them as much as we can.
Despite the unconventional year, talent continues to flow into the team, and next year may prove to be a significant one in UO club lacrosse history. Freshman goalie Evan Doble said that the team is staying hungry.
We're definitely looking to play a lot more games besides 3, and we're definitely looking to make PNCLL championships, win most of our games, if not all, and just have an overall good time.
The team's final action was an Upperclassman versus Underclassmen scrimmage on Friday, which went to the Upperclassmen to the tune of 12-9. And though it was just a practice game, both teams were more than happy to suit up and compete in Oregon colors one last time in a memorable season. For Duck TV Sports, I'm Alex Larvik.
Thanks, Alex. The team is expected to have a number of returning players and will be competing to make it to nationals.
Baseball continued their winning streak against Utah, extending it to 6 after completing the sweep. Oregon opened the series with a 7-3 win that featured an Aaron Zavala home run, making it his 7th of the season. Bats were hot for Oregon as Sam Nowitzki continued the home runs into the second game of the series, launching one in the second inning. But it was Kenyon Yovan who was the star of the show, ending the game with 6 for 6 and 4 runs. Oregon finished the series on a high note, putting up 5 runs in the 5th to lead to a 9-2 victory. Their next game is on Tuesday against Gonzaga, with their final series here in Eugene against Stanford this coming weekend.
USA BMX has over 300 racetracks located nationwide, and Eugene is home to one of them, the Emerald Valley BMX Racetrack. Reporter Elizabeth Breezy has the story.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Emerald Valley BMX is a hidden gem in Eugene, Oregon. Located across the street from Autzen Stadium, the 38-year-old track is filled with BMX riders of all ages and skill levels. According to Stephen Depew, the track operator, BMX racing is historic because it has been around since the 1980s. Unlike other sports, BMX racing is very family-oriented and often encourages parents and grandparents to join or rejoin the sport.
Just the fact that everybody gets out there and gets to ride regardless of skill level.
Whether they're brand new, first day on the track, or whether they've been riding the track for 3 or 5 years, just their skill level might be different, but everybody cheers them on to the finish line.
Emerald Valley BMX is the #1 track in the state, with racers competing 3 times a week in order to improve their ranking each time. No matter rain or shine, you can always count on these racers to be out here practicing and racing. Ricky Bowen, a 9-year-old racer, has only been racing for 2 weeks and already won a first-place trophy in today's race. When asking Ricky what his favorite part of today was, he said,
Winning!
Winning? Ricky was not the only winner on the tracks, though. We ran into the #1 racer in the regional intermediate district with over 4,303 points, Kylie Odovich. Kylie is an absolute beast on the tracks, but never forgets what's most important.
I just try to have a good sport all the time and not get mad if I don't win.
According to Emerald Valley BMX, your first race is on the house. They also provide free helmets and bikes if you do not have any yourself. Feel free to join the Emerald Valley BMX racers next Saturday as they race for a cause. In collaboration with the local organization Cancer Creates Warriors, 100% of the proceeds made from the race will go towards this awesome organization that funds cancer research.
From Emerald Valley BMX, I'm Elizabeth Breezy with Duck TV Sports.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The next Emerald Valley BMX race is scheduled for this upcoming Thursday, May 20th.
After announcing his departure in January, Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott's replacement has been named. His replacement is former MGM executive George Kliavkoff. Kliavkoff shared in a post-game conference his top priorities are to support the league's student athletes as best as possible, optimize revenue for schools, and making teams more competitive in revenue-generating sports. Welcome to the league, Commissioner Kliavkoff.
That's all we have for you today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at DuckTV Sports.
Now back to Jennifer and Ryan on the news desk.
Thanks, guys. The Eugene Airport welcomed Avelo Airlines this week. The new low-cost option is offering one-way tickets to Burbank in Southern California. The tickets start at $19, however, amenities such as carry-ons will be an additional cost.
As pandemic restrictions loosen and the economy begins to pick back up, some industries are having trouble finding and retaining employees to meet increased demand. Eric Wasserman has the story.
It's a problem businesses big and small are facing nationwide. A shortage of employees willing to come back and work mostly lower-paying service jobs. Job openings topped 8 million at the end of March for the first time ever, the Labor Department said last week, but many of those positions remain unfilled. The hospitality and restaurant industries facing the biggest hurdle. UO professor and economist Gordon Lafer says employees are right to target larger corporations in their efforts.
From a working person's point of view, if you want to exercise leverage like that, you have to aim it at companies that do have a big enough profit margin to be able to pay decent wages and still remain profitable.
But smaller, locally owned businesses are taking a hit too. At the Valley River Inn, one of Eugene's largest hotels, General Manager Greg Taylor says they've had trouble finding and keeping employees. Andy Verbora, the VP of Stakeholder Relations for Travel Lane County, says some hotels have even had to close off blocks of rooms amid short staffing. At the Doco, a late-night staple among UO students, owner Rachel Newton says they've had trouble finding and retaining staff.
But for us to run at a certain level, it was difficult and we've been struggling. There's definitely been times where just due to how many people were calling out or whatever, we would just close earlier than we normally even would have.
With roughly 40% of Americans fully vaccinated against COVID, those concerns may soon ease for some seeking employment. Not to mention, some are making more at home than they could at work. With pandemic unemployment assistance through September 4th, someone working 40 hours a week at Oregon's $12 minimum wage could make 60% more staying home, thanks to the $300 extra in weekly benefits. Back at the Doco, they've increased starting pay to attract more workers, but it's too soon to see what difference it will make. Eric Wasserman, DuckTV News.
Oregon's current minimum wage in urban areas is $12 an hour, and that will increase to $12.75 an hour on July 1st as part of the state's minimum wage increase schedule.
That's a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at DuckTV News. Have a great night, Eugene.